Uh-oh, we got a situation. It's a broken bolt or stud, and it's the worst of the worst. It's not just broken off. It's actually either seized, rusted in place, or cross-threaded in there. So there's no just like tapping it out, you know, getting a punch in there and tapping it in a circle to get it to come out. And not only that, but it's broken off below the surface. So you can't just easily weld a nut to it and unscrew it like that. This is a problem. Then, to add insult to injury, not only is it broken off down in the hole, but it's broken off jagged. So you can't really get a drill bit on there to like just go straight into it. It's going to drill off to an angle. And then, to make matters even worse, it's in a water jacket. So, and I know this from experience with these Chrysler cylinder heads. If that's off, if we drill it off, or we've got to Healy coil it, it will haunt us forever. It'll always seep, it'll always have a problem, it'll always have an issue. So, we have to drill this thing out right the first time. Can't screw this up. So, what do? Well, we're going to make a jig out of common things that are just hanging around the shop. So, first things first. Deep well 1/4-inch drive socket that will fit down into the hole. All it has to do is just register at the edge, the very edge of the hole. So we've got that with this one here, okay? Then, now you have to use the type of socket that's round on the inside. So it'll have you know, the fastener end of it, whatever size that's going to be, and it'll have the square end that your ratchet would go to, but the inside part of the shank is round, and almost all of them are. So what you want to do next is get a drill bit that fits snugly, just barely snugly into that hole, okay? You want to get it so that there is going to be a lot of play in this thing. So there's our drill bit for it. And now we have to get this thing to sit square to the cylinder head. So we'll take a nut that'll fit closely over the end of it like this. In our case, this is just a little sloppy. So let's give it a quick wrap of tape. Okay. And screw the nut down onto it. Okay. So now that's snug, right? Now what we'll do is put it in the hole, push the nut up against the surface of the head, and we have a jig. That'll hold our drill bit straight. Now the last hurdle to this is that it's broken off on an angle. So even with the jig, holding the bit straight, if you use too much force on this initially, the bit is going to start cutting off on an angle. So even with the jig, you'll still end up in a situation where the drill bit is going to go in sideways. That's bad because it'll bind up, it'll break the bit, or you'll never be able to just cleanly tap the threads and put a fresh fastener in there. So what you do is you want to make your initial contact with the fastener very slow. Very slow, very light. And just take your time. Now you can feel it kicking back as it hits the end of the bit, hits that jagged edge. And you want to just go nice and easy, no pressure, very little pressure. And just keep going until you feel it stop kicking back. Because what you're doing is you're etching the edge of that jagged part of the fastener. You're just etching it and making a home for the drill bit to actually start to seat itself in. Then of course, once you feel it stop kicking back like that, then you can start giving a little bit of pressure and just a little bit of speed and then drill all the way through. And that'll be your pilot hole. So after you've got that done, you can increase the size of the drill bits until you get to the size that you need for your tap. So that's it. I hope you got something out of that. I know that's going to save somebody somewhere a ton of aggravation and possibly a pooched part. So there you go. I'll see you tomorrow.